Welcome to FW Fantasy ahead of Game Week 5, and these are your market movers this week. Sadio Mane, number 1, Henrik Mkhitaryan, number 2, and Rob Elliott in at number 3. We will start with Mane. It's all been about him since his sending off against Manchester City last week. 100,000 people dropped him immediately on Saturday. He lost 0.1 million on Monday. And he's plummeted again since his appeal was rejected. He's lost almost a third of his ownership in one game week, 500,000 people. He won't drop to 9.4 this week, but he might next, so it's worth keeping an eye on. In at number 2 is Henrik Mkhitaryan. Now, he and Paul Pogba were both on an 8.3 heading into game week 4, but obviously Pogba got injured in the Champions League on Tuesday, so a lot of managers made the straight swap. Mkhitaryan has risen to an 8.4 as a result, and Pogba's dropped to an 8.2. Little things like that in the market are worth keeping an eye on going forward. In at number 3, we've got Rob Elliott, who on 4.0 kept 2 clean sheets in his last 2 games. He has risen to a 4.1, but there's still plenty of points to be had there. He's got 2 fairly easy fixtures to come in Stoke and Brighton, at least on paper, so there are points to be had cheaply there. Rob Elliott there, Newcastle on 4.1. Now we'll move on to our best buys. These are the players that you should really snap up going into game week 5, and they are Dele Alli at number 1, Ben Davies at number 2, and David Silva at number 3. Now, in the case of Ali, he's a premium midfielder, and many are looking for those as they look to get rid of Sadio Mane and Paul Pogba. Now, in searching for those replacements, many have turned to Christian Eriksen and Mo Salah, for example, but we think that Ali is a better option for a few reasons. Number 1, he's suspended for the Champions League. He will not play in Tottenham's next 2 Champions League fixtures, which means there's less chance of rotation and more chance of Premier League minutes. He's 0.2 million cheaper than Eriksen, who's maybe slightly inflated at this stage of the season, and he's got 4 easy fixtures to come. They are Swansea at home, West Ham away, Huddersfield away, and Bournemouth at home. Also with those 4 easy fixtures is Ben Davies. Now, he's risen 0.2 million in just 3 game weeks, but it's not too late to get on the Davies bandwagon. He's been in superb form at left back, and Danny Rose is not expected back until the 30th of September. That's 2 more game weeks at least. And even when Danny Rose does come back, will he get in the team? If you watched Team Whispers the other day on Spurs, you'll know that Ben Davies has been in superb form. He's been a superb creator. He's also on set-piece responsibility for Spurs, which always carries the potential for more points. So, unless he has an awful game, gets sent off, or is injured at the weekend, he should rise again to 5.8 million. It's certainly not too late to get on the Ben Davies bandwagon. We would highly recommend. In at number 3 is David Silva. Now, we have just mentioned that people are shipping out Pogba and Mane. A potential replacement for Pogba could be David Silva. The thing with David Silva is that he plays, and that can't be guaranteed for the rest of the City team. Raheem Sterling, before he was suspended, was getting a few goals chipping in, but he wasn't getting minutes. The same could be said for Leroy Sané and Bernardo Silva. David Silva has started all 4 games so far, played 90 minutes in each. There's always the potential for points with him. Barring an injury or a sending off, Silva could rise again to 8.3 next game week, so it's certainly one worth getting on the back of. Stay up to date with all of our fantasy tips by liking us on Facebook and following Football Whispers on Twitter. Send us your queries, your questions, tips of your own, and we will do our best to answer them. For now though, that has been your FW Fantasy Roundup ahead of Game Week 5.